If you've ever tried to grow tomatoes in San Francisco, you know the feeling, right? You do everything by the book, follow all the rules, and your plants just sit there. They don't die, but they don't grow either. Well, today we're going to fix that. We are going to break down exactly when, where, and what to plant so you can finally get a huge tomato harvest right here in the city.
And this, right here, this is the heart of the problem. Your plant looks okay, it's green, but it's not getting any bigger. You're not seeing flowers. You're definitely not seeing any tomatoes. It's a special kind of frustration every San Francisco gardener knows way too well.
Look, the problem isn't that you're a bad gardener. Not at all. The problem is that you've been given the wrong playbook. San Francisco just doesn't follow the same gardening rules as everywhere else.
Yeah, see, most of the country is totally obsessed with the last frost of winter, but here in San Francisco, that's not our battle. Our enemy is something a lot more persistent.
Okay, so let's get into it. You hear about USDA zones, right? San Francisco is Zone 10B. All that really means is we're pretty much frost-free. That whole last frost date thing people talk about, it's basically irrelevant for us. The real issue, the thing that defines our gardens, is the fog, the wind, and that constant marine layer that robs our plants of the one thing tomatoes desperately need: sustained heat.
So this number is absolutely crucial: 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Tomato roots literally cannot absorb nutrients properly if the soil is any colder than this. If you plant too early into that cold ground, the seedling just stalls. It sulks, and honestly, it can be permanently stunted and never really recover.
And here's the second magic number you gotta know: 50 degrees. If the air temperature at night consistently drops below that, your tomato plants will panic and drop their blossoms. And, no blossoms means no fruit. It really is that simple. You have to hit both of these temperature targets.
So how do you know when it's actually warm enough? You don't guess, you use a map. The city is just a patchwork of different microclimates, and knowing exactly which one you live in is the real key to getting this right. Now check this out, because this explains so much about the city. Think of the hills, like Twin Peaks, as a giant wall. They literally block the fog rolling in from the Pacific. If you live east of that wall, in the Mission, Petro Hill, the Bayview, you're in the Sun Belt. You can plant as early as March. But if you're west of the hills, out in the Sunset or the Richmond, you are in the fog belt, and you have got to wait until late April, maybe even into June, for that soil to finally warm up.
I know this feels completely backwards, but it is the golden rule for growing tomatoes here. Fighting the calendar and planting early is just a losing game. Be patient, wait for that warmth. Your plant will absolutely explode with growth once it hits that warm soil.
Okay, so once you've nailed down your timing, the very next critical decision is picking the right type of tomato. You can't just grab any old variety and hope for the best. You have to choose a champion, one that's actually bred for our kind of weird, cool coastal climate.
Take a look at this list. The most important thing to see here is the days to maturity, or DTM. That number tells you how long it takes to get a ripe tomato after you plant the seedling. In our short, cool season, a lower number is always better. That's why a variety like Stupid's is such a superstar. It's incredibly fast. And then you've got local heroes like the San Francisco Fog tomato, which was literally developed to grow right here.
And this is just as important. Those huge, gorgeous heirloom tomatoes like Brandywine, they need long, hot summers that the foggy parts of our city just don't get. You'll grow a beautiful, big green plant for sure, but the fruits will just sit there stubbornly green all the way into October.
Now, even if you are deep in the fog belt, don't worry, you are not powerless. We can actually manufacture our own heat. You can actively manage your garden space to create little pockets of warmth that will make your tomatoes super happy.
So think of this as your heat-hacking toolkit. That south-facing wall? It's like a radiator. It soaks up sun all day and radiates heat back at night. Planting in dark containers or raised beds, they warm up way faster in the spring than the cold, dense ground. And even just a simple layer of dark mulch can raise your soil temperature by several degrees. It all adds up.
All right, that was a lot of theory. Let's make this super simple. Here is a foolproof 4-step plan you can literally start this weekend.
Just follow these 4 steps and do them in this order. 1. Location. Find the absolute sunniest spot you have. Without at least 6, preferably 8 hours of direct sun, nothing else we talked about matters. 2. Buy healthy seedlings. Our season is just too short and unpredictable to start from seed outdoors. 3. Use that microclimate map we showed you to plant in the right month for your neighborhood. And 4. Be ready to protect your little plants with a cover if we get a surprise cold snap right after you plant them. You really don't need a ton of fancy gear for this, but having a few key items on hand is going to dramatically boost your chances of success.
Think of this as your shopping list before you head to the nursery. And notice how every single item connects back to what we've been talking about. The container helps create heat. The dark mulch helps absorb it. The low nitrogen fertilizer tells the plant, hey, make fruit, not just more leaves. And that soil thermometer, that lets you stop guessing and start knowing.
And that's really the big idea here. Stop fighting the fog. Start working with it. Understand your little corner of the city, choose the right plant for that spot, and give it the warmth it's craving. If you do that, I promise you, you'll be rewarded with baskets and baskets of amazing homegrown tomatoes.